Did I say goodbye too soon? Did I wait too long? These are two very common questions that we ask ourselves after euthanasia. Hi, it's Hindi from Great Paws and All. Today I want to talk to you about euthanasia guilt. And yes, it is an actual thing. So these are some of the thoughts that go through our minds, and they're very common. My dog felt great. How could I possibly have done that? He or she could have probably had another day. Or I took them to the vet and they were just staring at me and they trusted me, and then the vet killed them. Or people tell me all the time that I made the right decision, yet I don't feel like I did. Very, very common. But first, I'm going to say that I'm going to assume that you had a long talk with your vet and you, based on what he told you, you decided that it was the absolutely kindest thing that you could do. Now, I think the biggest problem is that we want to do it at the exact right second. We don't want to do it a minute too soon. We don't want to do it a minute too late. We want to know exactly that this is the time. It doesn't work like that. At the end of the day, we can only make the decision that we think is best with the information that we have in that moment. So, what do? First of all, like I've already said, please know that it's very normal to feel like that. However, we also have to be careful that we don't sink into some hole where we just cannot get over that guilt and the thoughts are swirling around in our brains and it becomes a mental health issue. I've been there. I don't want it to happen to you. So here are some things that could help you. First of all, find support. Whether that's with a friend you know who has been through the same thing, going to see a private pet loss grief specialist, or joining a pet loss grief support group. Just surround yourself with people who really understand how you're feeling. First of all, it will help you feel less alone. It will help you understand that what you're feeling is normal and you can all help each other get past that grief and share the tips that have helped you or tips that you're going to try. One thing you can do aside from that, which is very, very important, and by the way, if there isn't one, you can't look in your local shelter, um, Google local pet loss support groups. If you can't find something in your area, start one or join one online because there are some you can find online. The next thing you can also try is either write a letter to your pet expressing all the feelings, just like don't even think about it, just let the words flow. And I suggest that you write rather than type because I think it's much more therapeutic. So either write a letter or you can write in a journal, whatever resonates best with you. And just share all your feelings because getting them out there means they're not only going to be swirling around in your head, making you crazy. You're putting it out there and it helps relieve some of those feelings. Another thing you could try is a memorial. Plant a tree. You've heard these things before. I made a plaque for one of my dogs. His name was Bailey, and I made it for the garden. And just something to look at can really, really help. So I know it's tough. None of these tips are easy. It's a process. We're just going to have to feel the grief that we feel. But please, please, you have to remind yourself that you did this because this is how much you love them. You love them enough to let them go because you know it was never about you. It was about them. And you did what you knew was right so that they wouldn't have to suffer. And that is definitely nothing you should ever feel guilty about.